Welcome to Between the Reads, where we shine a spotlight on some of the most talented Black authors in the industry to discuss their works of fiction and the inspirations behind them. Each episode will dive into the rich and diverse world of literature, exploring everything from historical fiction to romance and speculative fiction to YA and beyond. Tune in as we celebrate the voices of Black authors and the power of storytelling. Are you ready, Booze and Bros? Then sit back, relax, and let's get to it.
Yeah, y'all about to get a real different episode of Between the Reads right now. I'm not doing the intro. I'm not doing questions. I had questions. I tore them up. I said, we gonna raw dog this whole thing. And when you understand what we talking about, you gonna understand why I said we raw dogging the whole thing. So, we'll start off with this. Porsha, why don't you introduce yourself to my listeners, those who may be new and don't know who you are, those who have been with me since the beginning. They know you know Porsha. She's been on the show before, so welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I am Porsha Deun. I'm a multi-genre author. I write romance, erotic suspense. I have a children's book out. I'm working on several different projects right now, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and when I say she's diverse, because as you heard, she has children's books, she's got erotic suspense, she's got whatever the hell this addicted series is. Murder, erotic, suspense, drama.
It's a Fatal Attraction series.
That don't do it justice, ma'am. That don't do it justice. Okay, so let's talk about. Tell us overall what this Fatal Attraction series is all about.
So the Addict series is basically, to sum it up in one sentence, is when being sprung
whatever
goes
she get ready to say is gonna be bullshit. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. When what goes wrong?
When being sprung goes wrong.
Being strong.
Sprung.
Oh, sprung. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Strong. What? Strong
Come on.
With what? Because I need to get my ears clean. I'm like, being strong. What are you talking about?
Oh, my gosh.
Being sprung goes wrong. Y'all.
That's the series in a single sentence.
If you're listening and not watching, I need you to just go watch on YouTube. Just don't even play no games, because there will be facial expressions. There will be nonsense, because
What, Audra?
Porsha has this thing that she always says, that she's not responsible for writing this stuff. That she just
I'm
writes
not responsible for the things the characters do. They tell me the story, I write it, and you guys get that in book form.
Tell me what you said that Destiny said when I said I wanted to hear her backstory.
She didn't want to talk about that. She didn't want to talk about what happened that made her the way, like go into details about what happened that made her the way she was. We got a little bit, that little snippet right there that she gave in the book. That was it. That was all she was willing to discuss on that.
Do y'all hear this? Because she has the pen. She can write whatever she wants, but she's telling me that Destiny is not going to talk about it.
She wouldn't talk about it.
So let's back this up.
Okay.
So Destiny is, we find out a little later in the book that she's kind of a jilted lover, but that's pretty much all we know.
Yes.
But because of that, Destiny, the book, okay, first of all, I'm trying not to give spoilers, but the book starts out with Destiny saying how much she loves dick.
And that's how she introduced herself to me.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
What the hell?
Exactly.
So where were you? Where were you when this happened? Were you
at
work?
I was at home, and I was working on my third novel. And at the time I was working on my third novel, and legit a voice that was not the character, not the voice of any of the characters in that third novel in that series that belonged to, came in and said those first two lines of the book. And I was like, excuse me, who are you? And there was nothing else for about 2.5 months. And then she came back and said, I'm finally ready to tell my story. I said, okay, but who are you? And she said, well, I'm the one who said this. I'm like, okay, great. What's your name? And then we went from there.
And so she told you her name?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She told me her name was Destiny. Again, my characters, for anyone who has never heard an interview or anything from me, and Audrey, quit rolling
Here
your
come
eyes.
the lie, y'all. Here come the lie.
My
Go
characters,
ahead.
my characters are individual folks who live in my head. I have no control over them. They tell me the story.
Anyway, so Destiny, I'm not even, whatever. So Destiny has the Magic Dick team
Yes.
that started off with one dude, ended up
Yep.
with three, and two of them
Our
are
twins.
twin brothers.
Twin brothers. Yep.
DeMario and
D'Angelo.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because y'all, if any of y'all been on my show, you know I can't keep names in my head for very long. I know it's dumb something.
D'Angelo and DeMario. Yep.
Yeah. And so she's got she takes them individually, but then she also does threesomes. But the men are not gay. They don't do each other. They only do her.
Yep. Yep.
And this I felt.
Oh Lord.
When I was reading the scenes, I was like, oh my. And Destiny is a limber little bitch, ain't she?
She's something else. She's something else.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Cause she has this threesome, and the thing the explicit rule for being on this team is that there's no feelings to be caught.
Yep.
And you can't have any serious relationships with anybody else because it's going to interfere with the team.
Exactly.
And then somebody
got to mess it up.
Somebody.
It's always one that messes it up for everybody else.
I hate Porsha so much, y'all.
They had a good thing. Listen, the four of them had. Don't say that. The four of them had a good thing going, and one of them had to go and mess it up.
One of them fell in love. And all I'm going to say is everything went left from there.
Yeah. Well, technically, two of them fell in love, but one of them didn't really reveal their feelings like that until later.
See, I didn't even think about it like that. Because I'm not thinking about him in that way, because I know that, I know who he had feelings for, but that didn't really mess things up for
the team.
Yeah.
Right.
But the one that fell in love with somebody else,
yes,
that messed it up for the
for
team.
Everybody.
And then that made the other one unravel.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. If you're in a reading slump, okay? If you're in a reading slump and you're like, I just can't get into a book. These books are short, okay? I'm a little bit of a slow reader, and it took me about 30, 40 minutes to read each book, okay? Yeah. You see
Quick
that?
read.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, the series is called Addicted. It's very apropos, not just for what goes on in the book, but for you as a reader. You will get addicted to the series and want to read each one. And the way she ends each one is slick, because then it makes you like go on to the next one to see what other nonsense is going to happen. And the nonsense that happens is,
something that could actually happen for real.
I mean, really? Okay, Porsha.
Like, no, it's something that you could see on like a what's
on,
what
on America's Most Wanted
yeah, or like
or
ID channel, Fatal Attraction stories or something like that. Like,
see, that's your problem right there. You be watching them channels.
listen, the murder documentaries, I love them. I love me a good murder little series. Come on now.
That explains a lot.
It probably does.
Because y'all, I can't even
It's why I
talk
can't
about.
write a romance book or even an erotica without some murder to be had somehow, some way.
See, she got to kill people, y'all. And I can't even talk about what happens in the book because if I talk about anything that happens, it's going to give anything. I can't even give little clues. The only clue I could give is the one I gave: is that somebody fell in love with somebody else and ruined her magic team, and she went
Ballistic.
bananas.
But you be rooting for her to like act right the whole
I don't be
time.
rooting for her to do nothing. The only person I was rooting for was Andre to come to his damn senses.
Listen, Poe Andre, he was lost
bruh.
in the sauce from the
See, she
beginning.
did this shit in the last episode that we did together. Poor whatever his name was. It's always poor somebody.
Yes.
And she be writing this stuff. Y'all.
Poor Andre.
Where did Andre... Okay, first
That
of
baby
all,
had no chance.
I understand that she came to you while you were writing this story. But where the hell did this inspiration for this story come from, aside from her just coming to you saying, "Hi, I'm Destiny"?
Don't say it like that, Audra. Don't say it like
What?
that. So there is a Mexican artist
Mm-hmm.
named Frida. You probably know who I'm talking about, but there around the time that I was writing the first book of this series, because it was originally
Mm-hmm.
not even supposed to be a series. It was just supposed to be a standalone. So
Yeah, she tells
while
y'all that in the back of the book too.
yeah, yeah. Um, so while I was writing the first book, I watched a documentary, I believe it was on Netflix, about her name was Frida and her last name is slipping my mind right now. But she's a Mexican artist and she married very young to an older guy and
Mm-hmm.
he had problems with infidelity. He had, he
Okay.
constantly cheating on her and stuff, and then she would get her revenge on him for cheating on her by then seducing the women he cheated on her with and making them her lovers. Yeah. So,
So I see that in the story. So that part is in there.
yes. Yes.
Okay. So then you said it was just supposed to be one book, and then people were like, "Well, I want more."
They
So what I
legit,
need to know
yeah.
is when you started writing more,
Mhm.
did you have a certain number of books in mind, or as you wrote, did each person say, "Well, I want to tell my story"?
Well, no, it was literally like when the books first came out, I had a group of readers who had it and I did a whole IG live where we talked about the books and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
every last one of those readers, and even the two who couldn't get on live, they
Mm-hmm.
informed me, hey, we want more of D'Angelo shenanigans. they want they
Okay.
wanted to know how Andre was doing after the end of the first book because baby had to be distraught. They want to know how Destiny got all of them together, how she formed her team. So I could tell that through each of the guys' views. And then they want to know why DeMario did what he did.
So all of this we owe to people from an IG. Where was I? Did you know?
I
Did
don't
we know
know.
each other during this IG live?
I don't know.
How long ago was it?
Oh, geez.
When did you write the first book?
The first book, this was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, the first book came out in 2020.
Okay. So that's when I started the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we owe some people on Instagram
Yep.
to all of your shenanigans.
They're not my shenanigans. They're the shenanigans
They are
of the
your
characters
shenanigans,
that live in
Porsha.
my head.
They are your shenanigans. It's your head. It's your brain. They are your shenanigans. What are you
I don't
about?
own any of it.
I swear to God, y'all. I swear writers are just... Y'all are schizophrenic. Y'all be having all these personalities up in here talking. And honestly, I don't even know why the hell I'm even talking, because I know for sure when I wrote Bloodland, I know that one character talked to me, and it was creepy the way she did it.
And I've heard you talk about that before, yes.
Yeah, but I'm not on your level, so don't even go there with me, with all your drama. Y'all, I call her Donetta Goines, because if y'all ever read any of Donald Goines' books.
Yes. Donald Goines is my favorite author, period.
And see, that's her problem right there.
I have all of his books.
That's her problem.
He has his own shelf.
That combined with her, because I read one of his books, Black Girl
Lost. That's my favorite
Black
one.
Girl Lost. Back when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so traumatized because I was not ready. It was just, he was a Black author. And I was like, ooh, this is... And when I tell y'all, I felt like I had lived that life by the time I was... Because I'm an emotional reader.
Yeah.
And this chick right here convinced me to reread it with her.
I remember that. You barely made it.
And I was like, woo, Porsha.
You barely made it, and I went on to read the rest of his collection.
She went on, she was like, ooh, yeah, wasn't that fun? I'm like, fun? Bitch, what?
Andrew was ready to cuss me out.
All over again. I'm traumatized. Okay? Now, in this series, there's not gore or like hardcore urban fiction like Donald Goines is, but the talent, that level of writing, of the suspense and the what the hell is going on and the deer caught in the headlights, Porsha has that ability. She's good because she will make you get in your feelings with these characters.
Thank you, Audra.
I don't even know if that's a compliment right now. I don't know if that's a compliment or that's just me telling you
off. I take it
off.
as a compliment.
I think you're frozen right now. So, what are you doing?
Okay, it just went out and Kim started playing in my ear, and I wasn't sure what happened.
Do y'all see this on YouTube? There's two. Do you see that there's 3 recordings? There's 2 of you. Yeah, there's 2 of you.
Are you serious?
There we go. Now there's
I see only one of me.
I don't know what that was all about. See, that's
okay.
Maybe that was Destiny trying to get in on the talk.
Or something.
Destiny was like, I need to get up in here. Yep.
Getting in, trying to defend her actions.
Or she mad at me for talking about you. But Destiny, I'm gonna need you to calm that down. I was giving her a compliment. Lord. Okay? I'm giving her a compliment. But yeah, she's got that level.
Yes.
And that's why I'm just like, I don't know how you could go from that. She wrote children's books, y'all. And
so children's books was never on my radar. However, whenever I did vendor events, it was always someone was like, so when are you going to do your children's book? And I was like, I'm not the person for that. and I would write down. I don't know if you heard her before, Latasha Perry. She has the Hair Like Mine. The whole series is like For Kids Like Mine, but Hair Like Mine, Skin Like Mine, books. And she's actually a good friend of mine. And I would write her website down on the back of my business card to say, this is where you want to go if you want a children's book. Because that's not, I write the books about the acts of making children. I don't write books for children. So, and that's what I used to tell people. And then playing around with my niece one day, and we were having a good time. Her mom was dressing me for a photo shoot I had. So I was trying on clothes and stuff. And my niece was loving it, and we were dancing around. It was a bunch of skirts and dresses and stuff. And I guess my niece felt like she hadn't seen me in a bunch of dresses or whatnot. So in her mind, we were playing princess this whole time. And we would dance around the living room and stuff, and then I go change and come back out. So when I came back out in my regular clothes, she said, "You're not a princess anymore." Aww. And I said, "Well, princesses can wear pants too." I said, "It's easier to run around and play that way." And she said, "Oh, okay." And we kind of left it at that. Months later, that whole thing played in my head. And Audra, I was brushing my teeth. And literally the book, that children's book, page for page, played out in my mind. And I had to run out the bathroom with a toothbrush in my mouth and go write down that book. And that's how that children's book came about. It was
I
never
would like to take a trip
intentional
inside
for
this woman's
me.
mind. I would need
You
a
don't.
tether
It's crazy
to the real world to pull me back out,
Pull
because
you
I
back
know I
out.
would get lost up in there and never be seen again. And depending on what part of her brain I get lost in, that could be scary. Because if I get lost in the princess children's book part, I'm good. But if I get
get
lost up
it
in
stayed
the
there.
addicted,
The addict series section.
Yeah. You know, I should write a book about getting lost in Porsha's brain. Like, this character just gets lost in Porsha's brain and travels through the different parts. And like, some of the chapters would be cool, and some of the chapters would be X-rated, and some of the chapters would be scary. Because
I think that would actually be an interesting read.
I'm just saying. I don't even have the chops to write it. Porsha has the chops to write it. So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing you an idea. You can just run with it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because there are how many books in the Addicted series? What, 1, 2, 4?
There's four books. Yep. So each Destiny and then each of the guys have a book.
Those poor men. Those poor men.
None of them had a chance.
Nope.
None of them truly had a chance. The closest one that had a chance was D'Angelo. And he probably came out the most scarred than anyone.
Yep. I just... So where did they all come? What was their inspiration? Did they all just walk up to you two and say hi? Or, you know, how did you create these 4 characters? Well, I ain't asking you about Destiny's ass, because I don't know, she's crazy. Whatever.
Don't do Destiny
Sit
like
down
that.
somewhere. Where did you come up with the 3 men? Their characters? Where did they come from? I'm trying to get inside your mind here.
So, I mean, initially Destiny kind of told me about them, and then when it came to like their books themselves, she told me about them, and she said, you know, all 3 of them had like daddy energy or whatever, but in different ways. D'Angelo was the more masculine out the group, and the one that you didn't want to cross. Like, he had a dangerous edge to him, even though she knew in so many ways he really wouldn't do nothing, but she knew if she pushed him too far, that was going to be a whole nother type of hell that she didn't want to deal with. Andre was her pushover.
Mm-hmm.
That was her teddy bear. He was putty in
Mm-hmm.
her hands. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
could not tell her no at all. Whatever she
That's how
wanted, and
exactly. I
that's
was
how
going
they
to say
ended up
that's
in
how
this
they
whole
ended
thing,
up in trouble.
because he literally could not. He got one taste of her and was like, "Yo, I'm yours for life."
He was sprung
And
from day one. From day one.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, from day one,
Mm-hmm.
from day one. And then Demario, again, being the one who messes everything up, he he is the one who was there out of sexual necessity because he was unsatisfied where he was.
Okay. So where poor little Kim come in? Yeah, poor
Poor
Kim. She the
Kim,
only one I really
listen,
feel bad for in this whole situation.
Kim is, yeah, she's the true
Yeah.
victim in all of this, because not only did she end up with
Mm-hmm.
her heart broken, because that whole scene at the
Girl.
park.
When I tell y'all, I need, I need a
Oh
minute.
my gosh.
When I tell y'all, when you read these books, the park scene, that
Will
is
tick
what
you off.
really unravels everything. It's like I don't watch,
Everything.
The
Yes.
Walking Dead, but I remember everybody talking about the red wedding or whatever it was. I think that's
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
these shows had the red. This was like the red wedding but without the gruesomeness, just like the it was like the event that just threw everything out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
And
Spun everything. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way that Destiny
Handled
handled
that.
that and her plot to
Mm-hmm.
deal with that was
She plotting. That was a plotting
some
sucker
of the
right there.
most maniacal, evil, manipulative plotting
Yes.
and revenge.
Because she knew he would show up. She knew he would show up. She knew he would
I was
show
just
up.
sitting there the whole time reading this like, she not going. And I was like, Lord, when she went and asked Kim to dinner, I was like, Kim, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do. Let
Poor
me tell y'all
Kim.
something.
Poor Kim.
Destiny is a manipulative, plotting, scheming hoe. That's the only way that I can put it.
Yes.
Okay? And she
Yes.
do not.
She doesn't apologize about anything.
And please do not mess with her magic team, her magic dick team. Please do not. Because it's not going to end well for you. It's not going to end well for you. So if you dating somebody and she says there's no strings attached and I do not love you and you are just part of my team, you should run.
Mm-hmm.
Because was it DeMario
Yes.
or D'Angelo that warned Andre that he should just run? Or did I get it backwards? Because you had so much drama, my brain is all twisted up. One warned the other, like
so the D'Angelo
Yes.
did warn
And
Andre
yeah.
that, like, hey, I see you catching feelings. You
Yeah.
might not want to do that with this one.
Yeah. And Andre's response should have made him leave the whole situation. He should have just gotten his twin brother. Yeah, he
Oh,
should
should
have.
have
He
made
should have
D'Angelo
gotten
leave the whole
Demario and been like,
situation.
"Listen, we need to
Yeah,
be out." Although, even if they
yeah.
tried to get out from the way the destiny is, she wouldn't have let them escape.
She doesn't. You don't leave her. She decides if
Now,
you leave or
how
not. You
would you
don't leave her.
even? I'm asking you to be one of the twins, and you want to get out, and you know you can't escape. All right, you know that you have that
Mm-hmm.
she has to be the one to leave. How are
Yeah.
you going to make her fall out of lust with you? I need a plan. Good. I hope you're good.
That
Are
would
you
be very
stumped?
hard.
Did I stump you?
So, I mean, yeah, that would be very hard to do because if you remember in the
Mm-hmm.
second chapter of the first book, when Demario
Mm-hmm.
said he was done, she ended up putting him right back on that couch
Yes, she did.
and went
Okay,
to
so I'm
work on
saying
him.
now you're one of the twins, and you are no, you're sitting there. The twins have called you in. You are a okay. You are now a relationship breaker upper guru, and you have been hired by the
Mm-hmm.
twins to to
Oh
devise a
Lord.
plan to get her to fall out of lust with both of them because they know they can't escape on their own. So you are like a Olivia Pope of getting people to fall out of lust or love with you. You are that Olivia Pope. So now you are sitting
Mm-hmm.
down at the table with the
Mm-hmm.
twins. They've told you everything. What is the first thing? What is the plan? What is the plot? What is the first thing that we have to do?
They will have to become some bum dudes.
That ain't enough.
Like
No, no,
they can't
no,
go over
no,
there.
no. You got to do more than that.
I mean, they gotta go over there unshowered, um, unkept. Like they would have to turn her off. She would have
Really?
to be
Would Destiny
repulsed.
really be repulsed by them being unclean? She just throw their ass in the shower. Come on, Porsha. Give me something real.
She would listen. The only other thing they would be able to do is to like legit leave New
You know she
Orleans.
would go find them.
She
Why?
wouldn't leave New
How you
Orleans.
know?
They would have to go. They would have to go far, like out of New Orleans. They would have to go to like
Why?
northern Louisiana or another
How
state.
you
She
know she
wouldn't
not
chase
gonna
them
leave New
that far.
Orleans? What do you know about her that you ain't telling us?
That's where she was born and raised. New Orleans is all
Okay,
she
but
knows.
if this is her magic team and she loves them so much, you don't think she would follow them out of New Orleans? You don't think she would go and try to find them?
No, no, not for that. Not for that. No, I don't think she would. I don't think she would.
This is the chick.
I
Do
feel
I
like
need
she
to
would try to
remind
rebuild.
you?
I think she would try to rebuild her team, but because they were right there,
As
you
I'm speaking
know,
for the twins, I want my money
it's
back
like why you
that we
leaving?
gave you to get us out of this relationship because that ain't. You want us to leave? That this is our home too. So we don't want to leave New Orleans. So what else you got?
You gonna have to die.
Give me my money back. All of it.
Like that. Like no, listen. Because getting involved with that would end up with both of them dead and me.
So
No.
what you saying is you're not giving the advice because you're not trying to die yourself. So then what the hell you in
Exactly.
this line of business for? I
I wouldn't be
said
in that
yes
line of
because
business.
this
You put
is
me
my
in that
show
line of
and you
business.
in this line of business. This is what you do. So why'd you get in this line of business if you scared to tell these people what they need to do? Why you scared of her for?
They scared of
Yeah,
her. That's
but you
why they came
scared
to
of her
me.
too because you don't want to give them the advice they need.
Listen, there are some people out there that even law enforcement need to be terrified of. Okay, like if you see them on site, out there's just some people that even your best private eye has to be
You know what, y'all?
terrified of.
I read one of Portia's other books, and there was a chick.
I knew Intoxic was gonna make his way
Cause
into this
that one
conversation.
chick, I know. Whichever
Crystal,
one, I don't remember the names. The one that was like
okay,
the glue of it all. There you go,
Jackie,
Jackie.
Jackie,
Jackie was that
Jackie.
person that you needed to be
Yes.
afraid of.
So listen, to get out of being around Destiny, they will probably have to kill her or seriously hurt her. They will need to call Jackie. Jackie is the person they need to call. They need to be
And
related to
Jamar, if Jamar
Jackie
wasn't
and get
in
Jackie.
jail.
Right, because he don't know how to burn his clothes properly.
That just
Listen, you got to get
that
rid of
just
the
brought up
evidence.
that whole that all the memories just came flooding back. Cause Jamar and Andre are cut from the same cloth.
Yes, they are.
She acts like that's an
Yes,
epiphany that she just
yes,
realized.
I did. It is.
You just recognizing that you wrote the damn books, Portia.
They are individuals that live in my head. I'm not making this. I mean, like, I'm not
Yes, you
making
are
it
making
up.
it
I'm
up.
not
It's called
plotting a
fiction for a
story.
reason because you make it up. You made it up.
The characters tell me the story. I'm not plotting and planning the whole story.
Don't you write everything with pen and paper? Why is she
Yeah,
pausing like that? Like she didn't want to admit that.
because I was trying
My
to figure out where
point
you were
is,
going with
don't
this.
trust no author that still writes with pen and paper. That's where I'm going with this. Because y'all are on a different level. Y'all are devious. Y'all are a different kind of devious. And if any authors out there and you write with pen and paper and you are offended, you are probably guilty of the same thing. That's all I'm saying. Because
Oh,
when I tell
Audra.
y'all, if you haven't read any of Portia's books, you could read this Addicted series or you could read Intoxic. Either one, you're going to be stuck sitting there turning pages until the end. You're going to be don't sit down to read that book when you have anything else that you need to be doing.
At night.
Or if you have to get
Mm-hmm.
up early the next morning because you will be sitting there reading them books
Mm-hmm.
until you're done. And I don't even. Because now I'm just thinking back to the whole conversation with Intoxic and poor Jamar. I'm just like, is he still in? He's still in jail.
He is. Aggravated assault and battery.
All because of Jackie.
No, all because of the dude who wanted to be called what was that his stage name? Big
Yeah, but
Willie.
also because of Jackie. Because Jackie was like, let's go.
was the one who told her. He used to do this stuff with her whenever their family was wronged. And he missed one crucial step in not burning his clothes. And she reminded him to burn his clothes. She should have took his clothes and put it in the fire with hers when she lit the fire pit in the backyard.
So how many more people you gonna throw in jail? How many books you have, Porsha? How many books have you written?
10,
Okay.
include the children's book.
Let's keep
I have 10 of them
children's
published.
books kept out. All these other books. How many people have you killed and thrown in jail in all of your books? See, the fact that she has to sigh like that and think about
Let's see.
That should tell y'all everything you need to know.
Love Lost series. No one died or went to jail in the first book, but the second book, there was a death in jail of one person. Then the third book had the death of 2 people. And, let me backtrack. The second book has 2 deaths in it and 1 person who went to jail. The third book has...
See how she has to think about this, y'all?
2 people who went to jail. 2 people who went to jail and a death. So that's 4 people right there that either died or went to jail. No, that's more than 4. I think I just named like 6 or 8 people right there in that in the Love Lost series. So, and then we have the Addict series. So essentially 2 people died, 1 went to jail, 1 ended up almost insane. And Toxic. 2 people died, 1 person went to jail.
Wait a minute, back up. Who?
3 people died in Toxic,
but back
technically.
up. Addicted. 2 people died.
Did you get to the end of D'Angelo's book? No, not the last book. D'Angelo's book 3.
She looking at me like.
So there's someone there's someone in the 2 previous books, one of the 4, who died at the end of that.
I got to go back
because they was trying to kill somebody else.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Right. Oh yeah, in the parking lot. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Parking lot of the grocery store.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So 2 people died, 1 person went to jail. And my flash fiction collection, there's one story where a whole bunch of people died, and the one remaining person, she ended up in an asylum.
The hell story is that?
It's in my flash fiction collection, Eyes of the Beholder. And the story in that one is called Asylum. It's the one of the 2 stories in there that I'm considering expanding into a full book instead of just a flash fiction.
So now the Love Lost series, is that part of, is it like connected to the Addict series? Not connected at all?
Nope. No. So the Love Lost series is my debut series.
About? What is that series about?
So that one is a second chance romance. It is the one series out of all of my other books and stuff that's a true romance, in that it does have a happily ever after. There's still murder and mayhem and stuff that goes on in between the pages, but the couple ends up happy and together.
Do you see what I mean? She's like, yeah, there's still murder and stuff that happens, but they still end up happy. How? How, Sway? How do you have murder and mayhem in your life and still end up happy and together? Shut up, Porsha. Don't even answer. Shut up.
The couple doesn't die.
What is this?
Why I gotta shut up? Y'all see how she do me? You invited me here, and then you gonna tell me to shut up. That's just rude.
You're rude. Your books are rude, ma'am. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Tell people what the Love Lost series is about.
So it's a second chance romance. The main character, her name is Elise. She is a business owner. She has her own fashion line and storefront with the same name. Um, Actually, downtown Flint, that's my hometown. So um, I said it there. She has been single for years. She's still pining for her last lover. His name is Jalen. And Jalen, after his second failed marriage, decides that, you know what, he messed up in letting Elise go. And he goes to get her back. They rekindle their romance, and it brings the best out of some people and the absolute worst out of others.
And there's how many books in that series?
3. And those are full length novels.
And what kind of nonsense is going on that you have to have 3 books to deal with this? I need to know.
So listen, when I sat down to write my first book, I was not intended for it to be a series. Once again, it was supposed to be a standalone book. However, on the computer that I was using at the time, it it started glitching, and Microsoft Word started glitching because the Word document had got so big. So I had to split it in 2 so I could work through it and do my edits and rewrites. And as I was doing that, I kind of realized you actually have enough here for 2 books. Like, you can make this a duology. So I was like, okay, so it'll be a 2-book series. No problem. As I was literally setting the first book up for publication, the second book was written. I had to go through and just do some polishing. The rewrites and all that stuff had already been done. So I'm loading the first book into KDP because that's what I was using at the time. Um, and one of the characters from the first book, who's also in the second book, popped up in my head, was like, you know, there's a third book, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? It was Jock. Jock popped up in my head and he said, you know, there's a third book, right? And Jock is one of the one of the supporting characters in the series. And my favorite of the characters in this series. And he said, yeah. And another character, and I'm not gonna say the name of him, but in the book says, yeah, I come back in this book. I said, whoa, where did you come from? Because I ain't heard from you since book 1. You were mentioned in book 2, but you were not there physically like in book 2. Yeah. And Jock comes back, was like, hey, just so you know, there's a certain person who dies in this book. And I said, no, that person does not die.
And Jacques said, yeah, they do.
No.
So apparently Jacques
And
read the whole book before you even wrote it and knew what was going to happen.
Pretty much. And that one character that died, when I sat down to write that third book, I wrote around their death scene. As much as I could until Jock popped up, was like, you can't go no further in writing this until you write that scene. You have to write that death scene and the funeral, and then you can get the rest of the book.
So he was holding the book hostage.
He was.
And Destiny.
And I cried the whole way through. I did. I cried.
And so
the whole
Destiny
way through
is holding her story hostage. You think she's ever going to come out and say, okay, I'm ready to talk?
I don't know. That'll be up to her. I did try at one point in time to connect the Love Lost series and the Addict series through D'Angelo, who's the lone survivor in the sense of the Addict series, through him deciding that it's too painful for him to be in Louisiana. and he gets an opportunity to open up and run a
Mm.
restaurant in Detroit, and have him go there and have him meet and kind of fall in love with the
Yeah,
daughter
you wrote
of
about that
Elise
in the
and
book, but
Jalen,
then you
Future.
said no.
And
Mm.
it didn't work out that way.
So you have the Love Lost series, you have the Fatal Attraction series, and what other books do you have?
So then
Intoxic.
there's Intoxic and Eyes of the Beholder, which is the
Okay.
flash fiction
And how
collection.
many? So
Um, and then
hmm
Princesses Can Do
we
Anything.
leaving the princesses out because we don't want them mixing with your. We don't want them
Okay.
to be traumatized. We don't need those characters meeting your characters from all these other books. But
That's true,
but
because
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
have children and you want to see the amazingness that is Portia's writing, that is for kids, then you get the Princesses Can Do Anything. And aren't you working on one that for boys, that Princes Can Do Anything or something like that? Okay.
Yes. Yep, I'm working on that. So, working out the illustrations. I went back and forth over that
Mm-hmm.
story for so long. Just trying to get it right. So yeah, I'm working on that, working on the illustrations. I'm
Okay.
excited
And then
about
I
that one.
also know that you are working. Are we allowed to talk about the book that you're working on? That starts with the M. The M.
Which one? Oh, we can talk
Okay.
about her. Yeah, we can talk about her. She would be
Oh, all
mad at
right.
me if I
So, well,
didn't
I
talk
don't
about
need
her.
none of your characters coming from me. So let's talk about this latest project. Tell us a little bit about that, the concept, where it came from, and let's talk about that a little bit.
All right, so the project that Audra's talking about is titled Medusa Untold. That's literally been the title of it since I had the idea
I'm ready
came
for
to me.
this book. I'm so
So
ready. I'm waiting for this book. Waiting.
this book has been a long time in the making. It would be my first fantasy. When the story came, first let me tell you how
Oh
Medusa
boy.
came to me.
Hold on, y'all. Here we
I
go.
was driving home from work. I'm going. I'm driving home from work, going north on I-75, and I'm driving, minding my own business. I'm in the middle lane, and then I see out of nowhere in my left side mirror this mask that actually turned out to be a motorcycle helmet that looked like the Predator
Mm-hmm.
from Alien and Predator. So it looked like Predator. Scares the living shit out of me because he came out of nowhere. Okay. When I tell you I was in my car, I screamed like scared the crap out of me. I actually ended up later
Wow,
meeting him.
really?
Um, yeah, and I'll tell you about that. But so, and then as he went by,
The
you know,
tendrils.
Predator
Uh-huh.
has like these
Mm-hmm.
long, yeah, the tendrils and stuff, and they were
Mm-hmm.
blowing in the wind like beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
thick, long locks. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what it looked like from the back. And Medusa came to me then, but as a completely different story than what's actually turned out to be when I was writing. So when that happened, I
Mm-hmm.
immediately got off the expressway and sat in the McDonald's parking lot
Mm-hmm.
right off the exit right there. And because I handwrite and I always keep a notebook and pen with me, I started writing out the premise for the story that
Mm-hmm.
was flooding into
Mm-hmm.
my head right then. So that original story was supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
an erotic fantasy where Medusa seduced multiple gods and men who came in. Like she turned them into statues and basically used them as uh
Mm-hmm.
like sex toys. Her
Mm-hmm.
libido was through the roof.
Which
Okay,
is
she
a
couldn't get
common
enough.
theme in her books.
Um,
Go ahead. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm
Audra,
lying. Tell me I'm lying.
Audra,
That's all I'm saying.
I can't say
Exactly.
that. I can't say that.
Ex-
I mean, it's all facts. Even my grandmother said that about my first book. She was like, "Did they ever get enough?"
No,
They don't.
Okay,
They
so
really
I'm sorry.
don't.
So
They
go
really
ahead.
don't.
So,
Um. Okay. So so that's what I was originally envisioning for this, and I was gonna have all the characters black. So it was gonna be like the
mm-hmm,
same Greek gods that we know of, except they
mm-hmm,
were just gonna be black in the book. Well, when I sat down to actually
mm-hmm,
start writing Medusa, and this was the first go at it
mm-hmm.
was months later after this, because I was working
Right,
on Love
right.
Lost series and
Mm-hmm,
Addict series, at that point, or the first book of the
mm-hmm,
Addict series at that point. And when I sat down to finally start writing her, that's not the story. There literally is no
mm-hmm,
erotica, period,
mm-hmm.
in this story. There's a lot of lust. There's and how in some of my books, I shouldn't say some,
All,
a lot of my books,
all,
there's some
all,
type of love
all. Go ahead.
triangle or love shape
Yeah, love
in
shape because it definitely ain't no
Medusa. There's a
triangle. It's a
lust. No,
octagon,
yeah.
octagonal love story.
Right.
Got 8 sides to everything.
um yeah. In Medusa Untold, there's a lust triangle that Medusa on the onset is
Mm-hmm.
unaware that she's in the middle of, that she's a part of. So Medusa is, again, every character in this book is black. There's not any type of other nationality or ethnicity in this story. I'm creating a whole new deity system in it. Um, a lot of the characters and places in there are named after ancient
Nice.
African tribes or the capital cities of
Mm.
current African countries. Um, and then some of the characters just have like uh, popular African names from different
Mm-hmm.
regions and stuff like that. But Medusa is a priestess and a medicine woman. She's highly respected. She's expected to be the next high priestess, or the first high priestess, the next high priest, but the first woman to hold the position in the
Mm-hmm.
land where she resides. And the new king has other plans for
Mm.
her, as well as one of the gods that she serves. Drama entails from there.
And I have a hard time believing that since there's lust in here, there's not erotica. Come on, Portia. There's gonna be some.
No, seriously, there's not a single. So in earlier drafts, when the prince, before him and the princess are
Mm-hmm.
crowned king and queen, in the earlier drafts, I had their bonding
Okay.
scene in there. So that's what they call it in their land when a man and woman have sex or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, or when anyone
Mm-hmm.
has sex, it's bonding. Um, and I had their first bonding scene after they got married in there, where like the then king and the then high priest and other high noble males
Mm-hmm.
bared witness to them doing that. Um, but that was also kind of a painful scene because, gosh, how uncomfortable would
Mm-hmm.
that be for the woman?
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially, as me working through the different drafts and stuff, realizing that she
Mm-hmm.
really didn't want to be married. She wanted to rule the land on her own, being the princess and the only child of
Okay.
the previous king.
Okay.
However, her father wouldn't let her. He set it up to where she had to marry, and because of some
Mm-hmm.
family drama there, he couldn't marry her off to another
Okay.
royal from a different
Okay.
land, from an adjacent land. Um, so she was put in an arranged marriage while she was still a baby to the son of his of
Oh wow.
the
Okay.
king's general, um, who was about 10 years old at the time that they became espoused. So, and then they had to grow up knowing that they were tied to each other, that they were one day get married, they had no choice in the matter. So there's a forced marriage. Medusa, who's not native to that land, but she's been there for a while. She has a child that she adopted, kind of adopted, but took under her wing and raised after that child's parents died. And you have the gods who are just as childish as the
Mm-hmm.
mortals. And lusting after the mortals
Mm-hmm.
that they are supposed to be serving.
And so
So yeah, still writing
when
that
are
one,
you
but
expecting for it to come out? Like, what's your rough estimate?
so if 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 I can stay on track with writing it and stuff, and so far I have been this year, I expect it to be
Okay.
out sometime
Like
late this
summer,
year.
fall.
I said late.
Summer is late.
Like it I was it is
It could be late summer.
so I'm thinking
Okay. All
November,
right.
December.
Okay.
November, December.
But summer is late. Like
Yeah.
August is late summer. Ain't that far from November, December. Okay, fine. Whatever. Damn. Sister just trying to push it up a little bit. I'm just trying to, get a.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. It could be earlier than that. It just depends on, how well, how much the characters
There we
are
go
willing
again.
to
There we
talk to
go
me.
again.
Stop with that. As long as they're talking and
Yeah,
I'm
and as
able to
long as
write,
no
then we'll
extra
be good.
characters don't show up out of nowhere,
I don't think that's
will
gonna
you?
happen because I'm on my third draft of it. Like this is I had to start over, and because I didn't like how the previous drafts were set up when I went back to it to read. I'm like, I don't like any of this, so
Mm-hmm.
I started
Okay,
over. So
we'll
that's where
see.
I'm at now.
We'll see what happens. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. So, if we have readers out there who have never read your books, which book would you recommend that they start with?
I always tell people start with Addict, the first
Don't
book.
do it, y'all. Don't do it.
I always
If
tell
you
people
got,
to start with.
listen,
I
I'm gonna
literally,
interrupt you. If you're gonna start with The Addict, the first book, just go on ahead and get the whole series, or you
yeah,
gonna be mad. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Don't start with just the first one. Just go ahead and get the whole series, or you gonna be mad.
yeah. I tell people either that book or Intoxic to start
Either one is
there.
good, but like I said, if you're gonna start with The Addict, just go on ahead and get the whole series. Because if you get the first one, you're gonna be mad by the end, and you're gonna be like, "What happened? Now I gotta go back." Yeah.
Well, what
And
happened to
then
the
when you read
guys?
the second one, if you be cheap and you like, okay, I'm gonna buy the second one, but that's it. And then when you get to the end of the second one, you gonna go back and you gonna buy the third. So I'm just trying to save you time and just say, go get the whole series. I bought the whole series when Porsha had a sale that she was running, and she was like, all my books are on sale. So I went and bought the whole catalog. See? Just get them all. Don't even play. Don't even play. Because, yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't even play. Don't even play yourself like that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So where can readers find your books, Porsha?
So my books, of course, are on my website. You can get it on my online shop, PorshaDeunBooks.com. That's PorshaDeunBooks.com. They're also available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. If you love e-readers, your favorite e-readers, you can get them on any of those, whatever their store is. So
Why
yeah,
you put
that's
the
where my
S on the
books
end of
are.
Barnes and Noble? I
I caught myself
swear.
doing that at the very end and like legit internally slapped myself because I fuss at my mom for doing that all the time. Like, will you please stop putting the S on Kroger? I literally cringed at
That's all
myself for
right.
doing that.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. That's all right, baby. That's all right. And where can people find you on the social medias? I'm gonna put the S on the intermediates.
So I am on Instagram, TikTok, uh, Twitter, X. I'm not active on there
Yeah.
because it's not Twitter anymore. Um, but Threads, all same
And it's
username, Porsha
Deun,
Deun.
y'all. Okay? Get it right. Get the
Yes.
spelling right. Okay?
Because
You're
yeah, if
not
you
gonna
use
find her.
something
You're
else, you're
not
not
gonna
gonna find
find her. So,
me.
we have come to the end of our show. I want to thank you for sharing your time and your talents and that beautiful, crazy mind of yours with us today.
Thank you for having
And
me.
just be ready to come back when Medusa is done. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have another
What book?
book coming out before then.
Oh,
It's called
Lord.
In Over Her Head.
And what's that about?
Yup. It's an erotic suspense. So basically, the inspiration for this one was, do you remember the pink sauce drama that was happening on
Yes.
TikTok a few years ago?
But
Okay,
only
so I
because you
was
told me
going
about
down
it.
that rabbit hole. Okay, yes. So I was going down that rabbit hole and seeing the mess that young lady, I don't know what her name is or anything like that. I never followed her. But seeing the pickle she was in, the ordeal she was having. And I said, if I had a character who got into this situation, how would they get themselves out of it? And Karima, the young lady, and how she gets out of it, Octavius, were born.
And when does that book hit the
Yeah.
shelves?
So that one, I actually just decided on the date for that one. So that's going to be March
Soon.
7th. So it's coming
Okay.
out soon.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be loading. I'll have everything loaded for pre-orders and stuff
So there
over the
you go.
weekend.
So if y'all want to catch that drama, I honestly will say you will not be disappointed with whatever books you get of Porsches. You will not be disappointed at all.
Thank
You're
you. Thank you,
welcome.
Audra.
Although I think that's just giving her license to write some more crazy shit, but that's okay. We need it in our lives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, it is what it is. We need it. We need the drama. We need the drama. We need the drama. Yeah. See how
Yeah.
she's all calm about that, y'all? Like she's like, of course, you gotta have the. Yeah. It is what it is. All right. So we have come to the end of our show. I do not have a quote for y'all. I do not. I just don't have a quote for y'all because this is one of the this show. I just said that's it. I'm not doing. Porsha made me mad, and I'm gonna come up in here and fuss at her.
What?
And
I did not make you mad. It was not me. Y'all didn't see Audra on my DMs while she was reading these books,
I
especially the
mean,
first
you
two.
could post. I don't care. You can screenshot it.
I think I'm a screen record it and post it. I think I am after
I
this
mean, just
episode goes up.
go ahead. I ain't scared. Y'all know. Listen, if you gonna be on this show, there's a good chance that I'm gonna fuss at you in DMs before you come on the show. That is
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
how this show was born because I was fussing at an author in DMs about an ending to a show. And I was like, wouldn't this be cool if I made this into like a podcast where authors could come and do this with me? And she was like, do it. And that's how it was born. So, I mean, I ain't scared.
Mhm.
I ain't scared of you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Give it your best shot. I don't know.
All
Now I
right.
am scared. Because she's just so calm about it. She's like, all right. And she from Michigan, too, y'all. Michigan people don't play. My daddy from Michigan. Y'all don't play. That's all I'm saying. Yep.
We're a different breed of folks.
For sure. So that's it, y'all. Like I said, I ain't got no quote. That's the end. Go buy Porsha's books. Go read them. Read Black books, not just for Black History Month, but every single day of the year, 365 days. And you have an extra day this year.
Yes.
In February to get some if
Yep.
you're all about reading Black authors during Black History Month, you got an extra day in February to get it done. So until next time, y'all, you know what to do. Grab a book and read, and I am out.
Thank you for lending me your ear today. If you've enjoyed this independent podcast, you can help me continue to shine the light on Black authors and their stories by becoming a patron at patreon.com/betweenthereads, or by giving a one-time gift at www.ko-fi.com/betweenthereadspodcast. That's ko-fi.com/betweenthereadspodcast. Tune in next time for another great episode.